Three girls, Claire, Marcia, and Casey, are kidnapped by Dennis, one of the 23 personalities present in the mind of Kevin Wendell Crumb, a victim of abuse who was diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder. Kevin's psychologist, Doctor Karen Fletcher, received an email from Kevin's protected personality Barry, who regrets to see her. Kevin has been in retirement for the past several years, so he is apparently totally stable. In Kevin's mind, each of his personalities sits in different chairs in a room waiting their turn. In the light white base controlled by Barry, two personalities, Dennis and Patricia, are kept out of the light because they both have violent tendencies and obsessive-compulsive disorder. In the case of Dennis, it also because he likes to see naked girls. Doctor Fletcher, through her studies, has come to the conclusion that people like Kevin can overcome their disability by switching to different personalities. Later, in an attempt to explain his now personality, Dennis, who sings as Barry, reminds him of the blind girl with a double personality disorder who could see when she turned into another personality. The doctor attends through her computer a medical congress and tries to convince the specialty of her respondents that is, of what could be a solution for a disability. Meanwhile, at Kevin's house, Claire and Marcia conspire to attack Dennis, but are dissuaded by Casey, who seems to have previous experiences with abuse and wants to wait for a better opportunity. The girls release Kevin's upset when Patricia, who went in the line, makes Kevin dress like a girl, assure them that Dennis is forbidden to touch them because they serve a great purpose. Casey seeks friendship with Hedwig, a personality pretending to be a 9-year-old boy. To warn Casey, astutely confesses that he will also be sacrificed to the beast. Apparently, personality number 24 in accidentally reveals that a winery is recently beefed up to keep them inside. Casey and Marcia barricade the door while Carrier tries to crawl through the fresh plaster, but Dennis emerges and stops her, locking Claire in a separate cell. Dennis, pretending to be Barry, and attends an appointment with Doctor Fletcher, where he Dennis having an emergency. But Doctor Fletcher notices discrepancies in his behavior and quickly realizes that Dennis and Patricia have impersonated Barry as a dominant personality, and they discuss the possibility that the beats is real. Casey and Marcia later receive food from Patricia, who brings them into the kitchen, seeing an opportunity to escape. Marcia hits Patricia with a chair and frees, but is captured and placed in a different scale. Casey continues to pass herself off as a friend of Hedwig. Who mentioned that she had a window in her room. Dennis visited Dr. Fletcher's on one more time, and they talked about Kevin's father, who abandoned him about a train when he was little. This makes other personality believe that David is hidden inside a train car. Personality began to come out to help Kevin cope with the abuse he was subjected to by his mother, who suffered from compulsive disorder. Upon reaching Casey's room, Hedwig takes Casey into his bedroom, but Casey is disappointed to learn that the window was just a few sheets of paper with pictures of it open or closed. Then he takes a walkie-talkie, discovers that it works and begins to ask for help from an unknown voice, a person who thinks it is a joke or that she stole the walkie-talkie from some companion at the zoo, and does not believe anything and says goodbye. Then Casey is subdued by Patricia. Casey then begins to recall scenes from when she was abused by her Uncle John, who became her legal guardian after her father's death. The first time her uncle abused her was on a hunting trip they took with her father, while he was sleeping. In another scene from her memories, she is about to kill her uncle with a shotgun, but hesitates and loses the opportunity. Dr. Fletcher is alarmed to see the large number of helpful emails she received from Barry at one time. In a hurry, she arrives at Kevin's house to offer help. My insight, she begins to suspect that he may attack her, and Simple tells her that she thinks it is better if they meet in his office and talk more openly about the subject of the beads. He then asks him to go to the bathroom, which he actually uses as a pretext to find out what is going on in the house. He then discovered one of the kidnapped girls, Claire. Before he can help her, Dennis sleeps her ass asleep and the girls. Dennis then appears in a train car and becomes the Beats, exhibiting surprises, agility, strength, endurance, and superhuman speed, knowing that the only way to call the light before the real Kevin to say his full name. Dr. Fletcher wrote it down on paper before she killed Jared by the beast. Meanwhile, the girls separately try to escape from their cell. The beast kills Marcian first and then Claire. Meanwhile, Casey discovers the latest body of Dr. Fletcher, as well as the paper where he wrote on Kevin's full name, which served to call him. Horrified by his actions, he asked Casey what happened. And who did it? Kevin points out that Casey were keeps him shot and orders her to kill him before their personalities start to take over. The personality then began to manifest themselves at that moment, one after the other, until they reaches number 24, the beats. Casey fires and manages to lock himself in a cell. Then he shot Kevin at point-blank range, although the wounds do not seem to affect him. The voice of the beats say that he plans are to free the world from the impure, those whose hearts are impure because they have never suffered their life. The beat is about to devour Casey when suddenly he noticed the numerous scars on her body and rejoices in the fact that she impures as are the 24 personality because she has suffered. Then flee the place. Later, Casey is rescued by one of the Kevin's co-workers, and in doing so it turns out that the place where she was kidnapped was under the Philadelphia Zoo, where Kevin lived and worked in the basement of the maintenance building. The coworker helped him into a security shack until the officer called the police. Casey is questioned by an officer who asks if she is ready to go home to her uncle. She hesitates, and you can see what she decides to answer. In another handout, Dennis, Patricia, and Hedwig exercise permanent control over Gaines, Bobby and admitting the power of the beats in his plan to change the world. Finish.